What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about head coach Arthur Smith and why I believe he's officially on the hot seat. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content, hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you would like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do believe that Coach Arthur Smith is officially on the hot seat. As you guys know, we did lose yesterday to the Minnesota Vikings at home, and we now sit at 4-5 on the season. And this was a big game for our Atlanta Falcons yesterday because we were sitting atop the NFC South. Now we are in second place behind the New Orleans Saints. We still control our own destiny. We still have an opportunity to win the division, still have a chance to be a wild card playoff team as well. But we have to go on a winning streak. And right now, I really officially believe that Coach Smith is now currently on the hot seat because yesterday, our Atlanta Falcons lost to a team that was very short-handed in the Minnesota Vikings. Now, there are no easy wins in the NFL. These guys are pros as well. They get paid, to win games as well. And there's no excuses in the NFL. But I really feel like yesterday's game, we had an opportunity to win that game. And we've had multiple opportunities this season to win games. And, for whatever reason, the ball hasn't bounced our way. But I really feel like everything starts with Arthur Smith and his coaching staff. Do I believe that Coach Arthur Smith can turn things around? I do believe that he can turn things around. But I believe that he's overthinking everything pretty much on the offensive side of the football. Now, the reason I believe he's currently on the hot seat is because Arthur Smith was hired as former offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans. He was hired because of his offensive genius. And if you look this season, the side of the football that's been struggling the most is the offensive side of the ball. And usually the reason that a coach is hired is also the reason that they're fired. And, because we're playing lights out on the defensive side of the football, it doesn't look good because Arthur Smith is known as an offensive guru, that this offense is struggling, especially because we have a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the football. You had 3 seasons in a row that you've drafted in the first round: Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. Early on in the first 2 years, we gave Arthur Smith a pass because we didn't have money. We didn't have the salary cap to go out and retain players. We didn't have the money to bring in those big splash signings. But now that you brought in your players, now it's time to start producing. And we've seen this Atlanta Falcons team this year struggle in the red zone. We've seen this Atlanta Falcons team struggle with turnovers and struggle with putting points on the board. And we've had multiple opportunities this year to close out games, and we're struggling to close out games. The biggest reason that I think that he should be on the hot seat is right now it's a lot of dysfunction going on with the Atlanta Falcons. You bench your starting quarterback in Desmond Ridder. You go to Taylor Heineke to see if he can bring a spark off the bench, and it didn't work last week. So now Arthur Smith really doesn't have anyone else to point the finger at. The first 2 years, as I mentioned, he didn't have salary cap, so that was kind of a reason why you really had to be realistic and couldn't expect this Atlanta Falcons team to, make the playoffs. But now that we have the talent, we've had the money, we've brought in defensive players, the defense is playing well, we brought in the offensive players that he wanted. Now it's time for these guys to go out there and produce. Now, it doesn't all fall on Arthur Smith because, the players still got to go out there on the field and execute. But I mentioned in my video yesterday, I don't believe that Coach Arthur Smith is putting his team and these players in the best positions to succeed. I also feel like if the Falcons are going to have success, Arthur Smith is going to have to go back to his roots and do the things that got him hired as the Atlanta Falcons coach. One of the things that got Arthur Smith hired as the Atlanta Falcons coach when he was with the Tennessee Titans was one of the best teams percentage-wise in the red zone at scoring touchdowns with Derrick Henry, and he helped guys like Ryan Tannehill resurrect his career. And I feel like he can do the same things here in Atlanta, but I think that he's overthinking. He's doing too many trick plays in the red zone. He's not going back to his roots where he likes to run, have a fullback in the backfield most of the times. He's not using the quarterback in the run game, which he did with Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill. We're not seeing those RPOs that he ran in Tennessee and that we seen last year with Marcus Mariota and with Desmond Ridder. We're not seeing the pistol a lot. We're just seeing a lot of confusion. It looks like there's no plan when these guys go out there, and it just looks like it looks really bad on a head coach when guys are not executing. But we've had too many mishaps this season. The game, I believe, against the Washington Commanders, where Desmond Ridder basically stated that the plays were not coming in on time. That falls on coaching, not just on the head coach, but the whole coaching staff. But anytime anyone on your coaching staff is not performing, that falls on the head man, which is the head coach. So I really feel like there's just been too many mishaps this season. Too many times on the offensive side where it just looks like we have no rhythm on the offense. It looks like guys are confused out there. Guys are not making plays at times, which doesn't really fall on Arthur Smith. That falls on the players executing. But I really feel like if Arthur Smith is going to get this thing turned around, he's going to have to go back to his roots of running the ball, doing what got these guys paid on the offensive side of the ball. I talked about guys like Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, those guys getting big contracts last season. The reason that you paid these guys is because these guys are like hogs up front. These guys are very aggressive offensive linemen. They're bruisers up front, and they want to run the football and they want to attack the defensive line. But we've went away from that for whatever reason this year. We haven't been able to find our identity. And I really feel like if Arthur Smith wants to keep his job in Atlanta, I really feel like he's going to have to go back to his roots and go back to the things that he did well, not only here in Atlanta, but what he did in Tennessee. He's going to have to go back in his archives and find out those plays that were his bread and butter plays. If you look at any team across the NFL, every NFL team has their bread and butter plays. Right now, I feel like Arthur Smith is just throwing things at the wall and seeing what's actually sticking, but they're not sticking to what's working. On Sundays, I see certain formations that's working. We seen late in the game, Tyler Algier, you run the ball on that last drive when we scored a touchdown, when he had a full lead blocker, a fullback back there, that we, basically punished the defensive line of the Minnesota Vikings by being physical and, going right down, running the ball right down their throat. And I really feel like Arthur Smith is going to have to get back to those things that he's done well in his past. But if he can't correct these mistakes that we're seeing on the offensive side of the ball and make the correct adjustments, I really feel like not this season. I don't see this season him getting fired, but I definitely think if we don't make the playoffs this season, next season is going to be like a make or break year for Arthur Smith. So I really feel like depending on how this season goes, the rest of this season, I really feel like Arthur Smith could be let go next season at some point if he doesn't get these things corrected. Now, do I believe in this coaching staff? Do I believe in Arthur Smith? And do I believe he can get these things turned around? I really do believe that he can win a lot of these games that we have left, because the Falcons do have one of the easier schedules in the NFL. But as I mentioned, there's no easy games in the NFL. Every win you're going to have to claw, and every game is going to be a hard-fought game. But we're definitely going to have to get on a run if he wants to get this locker room, get this locker room back and believing. Because right now, I believe we have guys in this locker room, the leaders and the right guys like Calais Campbell and Jonnu Smith and these guys that are saying the right things. But we have a lot of young players still on this roster as well, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So we definitely going to have to get things rolling on the offensive side. To me, the defense played well yesterday against the Vikings, and they played well all year. I'm really focusing on the offensive side of the ball. We got to do better on the offensive side of the ball, because Arthur Smith, when he was hired as an offensive-minded coach. Yes, he's the head coach and he has to coach the whole team. But right now, the side of the ball that he was supposed to be known for is that offensive side of the ball. So he's going to have to get back to his roots, the things that he does well. Like I said, I still believe in this team. I still believe we have a chance to make the playoffs. But they're definitely going to have to win this game against Arizona Sunday. This is a must-win game. But you guys give me your thoughts on Coach Arthur Smith. Do you believe he's on a hot seat? Do you believe he can turn things around? Personally, I still believe in this team. I still believe he has what it takes. And I feel like these players have what it takes to get into the playoffs and win this division. But with that being said, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.